Hello and welcome back. Just want to do a quick video on the back rack. I kind of mentioned it in one of my last videos that I did put a back rack on the bike. As you can see, it's gray. It did come in black also, but I went with the gray model and it kind of goes, I think, better with the bike. One thing that when I was looking, there are many different types of racks. I like this one because it kind of stopped before the end of the fender. A lot of the other ones came past the fender that I noticed when I was doing my research, and I kind of like this one because it kind of gives us a better. I think it's just a better look. A lot of the other ones are a lot expensive. Racks it seems to run over $300. This one was just over $100 on Amazon, but it did come with a lot of negative reviews. And I knew when I purchased it that there were these negative reviews, and I kind of decided to do it anyway. And I figured I could overcome those negative reviews. And one of the biggest part was the negative reviews was the bolts that are supplied, the hardware did not work. And I will contest to that. The hardware that came, I don't even know what kind of bike it was for. Like, it just didn't fit. It only came with 2 screws, came with some spacer stuff. It was completely garbage, the hardware. So that was one thing that I knew. And I figured, hey, it wouldn't be hard to get hardware. I'll just go to the local hardware store. That was really hard. It was really hard to get the hardware. The bike is, as we know, it's a metric bike. Everything is metric, and so I needed to have metric hardware to fit in the existing bolts that are already in the frames. And I went like Home Depot, I went to other local hardware stores around here, and everything, like there's a whole aisle of bolts and nuts and stuff, and they're all Imperial. They had a little tiny section of the whole row, like a 40 foot row. There was like maybe 5 feet section that was for metric, and they didn't have the length. So that was one thing. Either they're too long or they're too short. Well, no, they weren't too long. They just weren't long enough. Like here, I need a bolt that would go, back into here kind of, because this does stick out, 1.5 inches or so. And then once you get in there, you're in. So you need about a 70 to 80. I have 80 on there, and they are quite long. They're a little bit longer than they need to be, but I had to get 80 millimeter bolts for here, and I got 40 millimeters for the back. These are M8s. It does the size of the nuts that are in the frame are what they're called M8, which is metric, like 8 millimeter nut sizes. So that's what I had to get. I had to get 4 of them. I had to order them from Amazon. Like I said, I couldn't find them locally, so I went on. Wasn't it Amazon? No, it was eBay. Amazon was crazy. Like it was like $16 for some screws. I got them off eBay from, where was it? Hong Kong. I had ordered them from Hong Kong, and it worked out to, I think, like $5 American once I had some rebate or something like that. And it took at least it was like 33 days to get them, so it was quite an ordeal to get just the hardware. But the hardware works. So once I got the hardware, then the second problem came, which was also in the reviews of the rack itself, was the alignments weren't always good in the craftsmanship, and I will contest to that also. The alignment was atrocious. Here, this side was popped up. I had to take a bar and try to bend it down to get it to align. This bolt hole here, this is kind of on an angle that's wrong. It should have been more down. It was like this, so I had to drill this out to make this fit. The hard part was getting this bending this. I had to find some kind of bar. Had to put some really big pressure on that, and I did lose. Trying to bang it. I scuffed the paint in some places. Trying to get this thing. I worked for about 2 hours one day. Once I got the hardware to get this aligned onto the bike, it was quite difficult. But overall, would I do it again? It is a nice, like I said, I really like the style. The next rack that I found that was seemed to, like, the reviews seemed really good. It was a $50 more, so it was $150, and then, you know, like, the next one was a $199, and then like two something. So, you know, I probably did save a little bit of money by going with this cheaper rack and then getting the hardware separately. The time frame did take quite a long time to do all that once this got shipped, and then I had to reorder this stuff when I couldn't find it locally. You know, it was a month and a half or more before I could actually get this onto the bike. And the effort, you know, I was sweating and, you know, trying to get this thing bent correctly to get onto the bike. So it was quite difficult. Like I said, would I do it again? It's a tough call. The other one was out farther. Like I said, I don't like it, but I really do like the style of this. I'm not sure if these holes here are fit for Rotopax. I'm not sure what the Rotopax size. That would be nice if I could put a Rotopax onto this. If not, it looks like I probably could drill this out to get the Rotopax pad on there to be able to carry some extra fuel if I wanted to go down that road. I'm not really planning on doing that right now. I do have, and I'll do this on a different video, I got a tail bag to go on to this, and I got the tail bag from Amazon, so I'll do a little install and review of that. I didn't do the install of this because it was so difficult, and like I said, I just struggled to get that on. But overall, so that's the new rack. My recommendation is, if you're, you know, inclined to take on that risk of not fitting, you know, this is a nice rack, and I'll put a link down below to Amazon. I got this off of Amazon. It does say it's for a well, it said, now it's, when I purchased it, it said up to 2017, which, you know, this is 2018, 17, 18, it's no real difference on the back end. But now they've changed it to up to 2016, so it may fit to 2016 a little bit better, but the alignment was still off, so you will still probably struggle if you were doing this on a 2016 model. So, like I said, if you're inclined to take that risk and have the extra time, or if you want to pre-purchase these bolts, like I said, I got a 40 millimeter M8 for the backs, and I got 80 millimeter M8s for the front. I would probably go maybe with a 75 millimeter, a little bit shorter. You don't need that length. It's a little bit longer than it needs to be, but it does work. If you want to pre-order those and get some, you know, I just got some local washers, and in the back here there's a gap. I'm not sure how well you can see it, and I just put another bolt here to hold that, and then that just kind of goes on the top. That's just a little modification that I did to make sure that fits nicely. So if you want to pre-order that stuff and get this rack, like I said, I'll put the link to the stuff below. I'll even put the links to these bolts that I got from Amazon. The washers and the other bolts, that's up. You know, you can go to your local store and get that. That's just a washer, and that's just an M8 nut in the back there. And so that's like I said, that's the rack. Happy with it. I think it looks good, and I've already used it for some fishing, strapped my fishing rod onto it, and I like it. Thanks for watching. Have any questions, you know, leave them below, and as always, have a safe ride and enjoy your day, and goodbye.